everyone, welcome back to the GRE How-To channel where we make studying for the GRE a whole lot more tolerable. Today we're going to go over how to make your time count and save time so that you can do your best in the GRE. As I mentioned in the last video on the review for the Manhattan Prep Practice Test, I have finally conquered the mountain of, keeping enough time to be able to finish every single problem. And that's something that's been really important for me to start trying to hash out, mostly because the more problems that I get right, the higher my score. Unlike the GMAT, you actually don't get an extra penalty if you get something wrong, so that can actually work out in your favor. Ultimately, when it comes to saving time, I've really boiled it down to one key thing to do. Pick the winners first. And what I mean by that is when you are going on the test, just go for the ones that you know you can get right or you know what to do. If you read something and it is confusing on the onset or you don't necessarily understand it, don't spend your time trying to decipher it right now. Mark it for review and move on to something that you can do. That way you can use all of your time on the front end, getting the things that you know that you can get right, and then saving the time for the questions that need a little bit more analysis or need a little bit more time for you to work in the process of elimination in order to try to make your best guess and move forward. So what does that look like for me? Well, if it's a question that has to do with percentages, fractions, like I am on it. I got it, I can do it. Those take me even less than 2 minutes. If it's something that has to do with geometry so far right now, it's an automatic skip. If it's something that, if it's not me trying to find the area of a triangle and or the area of a square, then I'm skipping that. I'm moving on to the next thing, because for me right now, geometry takes more of a cognitive load and I want to be able to spend as much energy trying to get the ones that I can get right done and out of the way so that I can dedicate more time to the ones that take a little bit more time for me to try to decipher. I was actually really surprised on how well that worked for me. It's a little weird to kind of skip a question and move on, but this is one of the really great functionalities when it comes to the GRE. You can skip questions and you can go back to them. That's why I'm actually really excited about this, because when I was taking the GMAT, I couldn't do that. So it's like you got one shot, you got to figure it out. You either need to guess or move on. This methodology or this format of test gives you that chance to really do your best, pick the winners, and come back to things that might be a little bit harder. That said, make sure you go back to those questions so that you aren't leaving those points on the table. If you find out that you have 10 seconds left and you have 3 more questions to answer, put some answers in. One answer is better than no answers, because no answers is guaranteed to be absolutely wrong. You might have a chance of getting something that is correct. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're taking no more than 2.5 minutes per question to solve. Honestly, all of these questions are designed to be able to solve in about 2 minutes. So if you can't solve it, then you need to move on. Of all the things that I've talked to you about and will talk to you about, a lot of it's going to be some of the things that you need to know in order to handle some of the content. This tip is purely for how to just work the system of the standardized tests. This is going to be really important because time management is just important as your knowledge that you're going to need to exhibit for the test. If you have any suggestions on what you want to see, put them in the comments below. I listen, I read everyone, and I really just love getting your feedback. I'm doing this for me, but I'm also doing this for you. And it's a lot more fun when I do it for you, because for me, it's just like, oh, yay, I get to take a test. But for you, it's like, I get to help somebody. I'm genuinely motivated by that, so keep them coming. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And hey, why not share it with a friend? Let's make it a GRE party.